What's up, y'all? BC back with another special interview for you. Supreme Being the podcast every Monday and Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific. Sponsored by Team BC, my real estate team. If you guys need anything real estate, you want to send us a referral, you have any questions, buying, selling, investing worldwide, make sure that you go to teambcsold.com. Number two, if you're interested in working and being a part of my team and you're involved in real estate, go to partnerwithteambc.com, watch that video, and then sign up for a phone call that you'll have with me and my partner, AJ. And lastly, we just wrapped up an awesome weekend in Vegas with my Modern Success crew. That's my coaching program. Make sure you go to bryancasella.com, or if you follow me on Instagram, you can go to the link in my bio and check out my coaching program. Sign up, very affordable for all of you. I don't care what you do. All right, so Aaron.
Yes.
Welcome, my friend.
Thank you for having me, man. Appreciate it.
I know we did your podcast, like a month ago?
Yeah, it was about a month ago.
About a month ago, dude. Welcome to the show. Get a quick introduction, dude, to everybody. Some people already know you because they see us in the boxing videos, but for those who don't know.
Yeah, so my name is Aaron Morales. I actually box with Bryan over at South Main in Chino Hills. I am a fellow entrepreneur. I own a gym in the City of Industry and also in the City of Duarte. It's called Powerhouse Fitness. I just recently opened up a meal prep company called Fresh and Fuego. So kind of, in the mix with all the business stuff, I really enjoy listening to what you have to say, man, and all your motivational stuff. So, definitely thankful to be on the podcast.
Dope, man. Thanks for being here. Fresh and Fuego, huh?
Yeah.
You're writing that emoji stuff, right?
Yeah. I wanted something a little bit more catchy and not fucking No Fear Mills or something like that. I just wanted something a little bit more that would, catch the eye a little bit. And if I put it on like a billboard, it wasn't, it was something a little bit more presentable, not, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel you. So before, obviously you're doing a lot now. Were you always an entrepreneur, or did that come later on?
I would like to say, man, well, I started off when I was younger, definitely an athlete. So I kind of relate to you in the sense of not necessarily basketball stuff, but soccer. So me, I grew up playing soccer. I played soccer since I would say 5 years old, high school, AYSO club, academy. Then I played a little bit of semi-pro. Nice. And I played a little bit in college, and my sophomore year, junior year of college, I kind of just gave it up because I wouldn't say gave it up, but I kind of came to a crossroads where it was like, the amount of money professional soccer players make versus the amount of money that I want to make is nowhere near compatible. Now it's way different, with endorsement deals, but back in, 2010, a soccer player's average salary was like $34,000 a season. Yeah. So it's like ridiculous. It's not like football. It's not like basketball. With 34 grand, dude, I could fucking barely live, If that. Yeah. So I quickly had a change of heart, and I fell into physical therapy. But kind of backtrack before college, I was always, collecting cans, recycling stuff. I was flipping phones on Craigslist. Right. So I would buy and sell iPhones and flip those on Craigslist. I flipped a couple cars. Wow. So I would pick up a car not registered under my name, haggle the person for the price and go ahead and then just flip the car to the next person without having to transfer any pink slip information. So it's just basically I was like a liaison in a sense. Yeah. So I did that. Kind of, anything, I wouldn't say anything, but I appreciated the challenge. And then, kind of backtrack a little bit further, and I'm kind of going a little bit out of order. But right out of high school, I remember receiving this letter in the mail from, it was Cutco. Yeah. And it was basically like these gourmet knives. Yeah. And it was like, hey, you know what? You can make $18 to $24 an hour selling knives. And I remember looking at my mom, like, Mom, I think this is it right here. I'm fucking 18 years old. Yeah. I'm going to fucking sell some knives right now. I had no idea what the hell I was getting into. So I went to the little presentation that they had. You had to get all dressed up. And to me, like, entrepreneur at that time was like, suit and tie, looking professional. I dug that. I like looking clean cut. I wanted that sense of respect. Yeah. So I go there and they give me this spiel, and that was probably the first time I was sold. I was like, man, I can make this money selling knives. I'm gonna go around door knocking. I'm gonna sell knives to all my fucking family. Every person that comes across me is gonna buy this set of knives right here. And they do that presentation, and they give you a set of kitchen shears. And they're like, oh, you know what? This is part of the prezo. You're gonna cut this penny. So lo and behold, the guy busts out a penny and he cuts a penny with his kitchen shears. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, how did you just cut this penny with this set of kitchen shears? So at that point, I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna give this a shot. So, I made sure that, I had all my nice clothes ready to go. That was the first time I was really introduced to like scripts and role playing. And, that's kind of how I initially started that real entrepreneur bit without having to, go do car washes or cut lawns and stuff like that. That was kind of my first introductory. And then kind of after that, that lasted for maybe about 6 to 8 months. After that, I was, simultaneously I was going to school, playing soccer, and I kind of lost touch with that. And then when I stopped playing soccer, my dad had me work in a warehouse where he was at over at Orange County Container, which is off of Vineland and Nelson.
Okay.
And it was a box plant, corrugated box plant. And he was like, "Look, dude," he's like, "I know you're in school." He's like, "I want you to work here so you never have to work here ever again."
Yeah.
And that's something that stuck to me. Because, here I am, 21, 22 years old in this box plant working 2:30 to 2:30. Yeah. I'm Mexican, but I don't speak much Spanish, and I'm here with nothing but, Mexican people. They're fucking calling me Chicharito because they know I fucking play soccer, and I'm just like, dude, I'm over here, wrapping pallets with the not saran wrap, with the pallet wrap, feeding boxes, and I was through a temp agency. So my dad got me in through a temp agency because they wouldn't hire me on.
Yeah.
So the guy next to me was making $16 to $20 an hour, and here I'm at his fucking temp agency making $8.25.
Wow.
So I'm doing 10 hours of work, and then at the end of the week my check's like $321. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, there's no way that I can do this ever again. So I worked there for a solid summer, and then after that I had a couple odds and ends jobs while I was finishing up school and doing the whole PT stuff. And kind of during a mix of all that was when the personal training stuff happened, when the gym started happening. It was just kind of a whirlwind when things started to go on for me.
Yeah. So you do it with Brandon,
yes.
right? So how did that start? Were you guys always friends and you'd always talked about this, or did it just kind of
No, actually, I grew up with Brandon's younger brother. So I'm 27. Okay. Brandon is, I think, your age or a little bit younger.
He's a little younger.
Yeah, so I grew up with Brandon's brother. So I fell into the gym business because I would say it was around, I'm thrown off with a little bit of years, but I know I opened up Powerhouse in 2013. So prior to that, I had worked at LA Fitness for a year.
The location that I went to, 2013, you guys opened?
No, I had a spot in Covina.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had a spot in Covina off Vincent and San Bernardino. That was my first spot. So kind of backtrack again.
Yeah.
Back in 2012, while I was at Cal State Fullerton, I applied for my personal training certification, took the courses, because I was a kines major over at Cal State Fullerton. And I did that whole bit, passed, and then I had an interview at LA Fitness in West Covina off of Zuza and Rowland.
Right.
And it was like an old Bally's, kind of rundown gym, nothing fancy. Yeah. And they were looking for a personal trainer, and I went in for an interview, and they're just kind of like, "Look, do you have experience?" I'm like, "Well, I have a background in kines from Cal State Fullerton. I'm in like a year or two deep. But I haven't yet trained anybody professionally. I've helped buddies out. I've always had a trainer. I've always been in sports, been on point with my nutrition, but I haven't not trained anybody in professional setting." It's like, you know what? We'll take it. We'll you're the best candidate right now. We'll bring you in. I guess they were looking for a trainer at that time, and I just took off.
Yeah.
I took off, packed my schedule. I'd already had a familiarity with sales and that whole niche, and I wasn't scared to ask for the sale.
Yeah.
So, I did well. I was there for about a year, and I ended up, during that time, I ended up opening a boot camp at Thomas Burton Park over in Hacienda Heights while I was training, and that was definitely frowned upon in the corporate LA Fitness setting because you weren't able to steal clients and take them out to an outside setting. Yeah. So, you got to eat. So. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this. I don't want to be here for the rest of my life. Yeah. I definitely know that I'm a lot more valuable than what they're paying me. For a 30-minute session, I was getting like $7.50.
Wow.
Yeah. So
at LA Fitness.
LA Fitness. Yeah. It was because they paid by half hour. Their sessions over there are 30 minutes.
Yeah. Wow.
So, which you couldn't really get much done, but I would always stretch it for my clients and stuff like that. So anyways, opened up a boot camp over Thomas Burton Park, and then fast forward a little bit, I remember getting a call from the VP of LA Fitness for my district saying, "Hey, Aaron, this is Mike Melanie. You know what? I found out that you're running a boot camp in the park. I'm gonna have to 86 you, man. Because that goes against the corporate policy." And I was like, look, no, dude, I totally understand. But prior to that, I had learned how to cancel my clients' contracts at LA Fitness.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure no one from LA Fitness is going to fucking watch this video, but, you would put a prepaid debit card on file.
Yeah.
It would decline 3 times. LA Fitness doesn't take anybody to collections.
Yeah.
I would change their phone number on file so they could still use their gym membership.
Yeah.
And then basically their payment would decline 3 times for their personal training.
Yeah.
And it would cancel their contract.
Yeah.
And then I took them on the outside with me.
Nice.
So I went to a small private gym over on Azusa in San Bernardino, just up the street a little bit.
Yeah.
And I personal trained there for a little bit. Got real cool with the owner, and then I ended up opening my own spot in 2013, which was in Covina.
Nice.
So a lot of whirlwind of stuff happened. After that, I had reconnected with Brandon over at 24 Puente Hills one time. He was interested in what I was doing, so I brought him on.
Nice.
And then, kind of showed him the ropes and stuff like that. Picked on, kind of caught on relatively quickly. Didn't have any issues. He had a passion for it. Like-minded individual. And then we also, I met Corey through him, our other business partner.
Yeah, right.
So same thing, caught on relatively quickly. A passion for it. And, we kind of outgrew that spot in Covina. And then we were kicked out because we just got too big.
Yeah.
So that came to the point where we're at now. I had the one in industry back in 2016. January 1st, 2016 is when we signed the lease over there. But prior to that, I sold a portion of equity to both of them. Look, if I'm going to do this on my own, in the industry, there's a high turnover rate for trainers. Trainers are a dime a dozen, bro. You know what I mean? You go anywhere and fuck, everybody's a personal trainer nowadays, just like I'm sure everybody's like a real estate agent,
Of course.
It's very hard to weed out, solid individuals. And I knew in my head that if I'm going to be successful, I'm going to need a team and I need some backup.
Absolutely.
So I decided to be unselfish and sell a portion of equity to lock them in, because I know when people have a sense of not entitlement, but ownership, they work a lot harder. Of
course.
Because I learned that early on, prior or before moving to that location industry. I had opened up a pho restaurant with my best friend at the time. We had a falling out right over here off of Lemon and Golden Springs.
Okay.
And that was just a disaster. Yeah, so that's kind of how we got to the City of Industry location. That's how I met Brandon, how I met Corey, and then it just took off from there.
Dope, man. Now, you made it sound really simple and easy. What were maybe some of the biggest roadblocks you had starting out? Was it trouble for you to get money? Was it trouble for you to get clients? Was marketing hard? Getting Brandon up to speed, was that a challenge? What was that like for you in the beginning stages, or what would you say were the most challenging portions of that journey that you just described?
I'd say the most challenging portions at first was the money aspect. I had saved a little bit of money before I first started the gym.
Yeah.
But I kind of just took a leap of faith and took something on, and I put down my deposit for the location, and I really had no idea how the fuck I was going to come up with the next month's rent. Yeah. I just knew I was going to have to grind it out. I was giving sessions away for like $10, $15 a session. I was just taking anything. I actually built my business before Craigslist was all saturated and full of shit off Craigslist.
Wow.
So I would run ads before trainers were running ads all over Craigslist, and before that was big. So back in like 2013, I would run personal training ads. I was like the only personal trainer on Craigslist that I could see.
Yeah.
And I got a ton of hits.
Yeah.
So clientele was never really the issue. It was just more of that first initial step of figuring everything out. And after that, it was kind of learning how to
Real quick.
Yeah.
When you had the clientele, you had a background in sales, you studied a little bit, you mentioned the role-playing scripts. How important was that for you for retention, keeping people there, keeping them motivated, and really creating the experience? Because I think that's what separates my team in the aspect of our business is we create an experience. Can you talk about that? Because I know that's important for us.
It's crucial. The experience and the rapport that you carry with your clientele is, second to none, because if you don't have that rapport, you're not going to maintain that retention with the client. So a lot of it's the attitude when they first come in, is making people feel comfortable. Because when you enter into a gym, predominantly female, and then also men that are coming in looking for guidance, it's kind of like an alpha male thing, like a trip to the ego. It's like, look, I'm not going to ask another guy for help because it's makes me feel inferior. Yeah. When in reality, it's like, I've had a trainer, I've always had a trainer. I don't look at it like that. So it's kind of changing the person's perspective and allowing them to feel comfortable. So, my background in sales was just like, okay, let me tell you how I'm going to get you to their goal, because people are going to pay you something, but they don't want to waste their money. They want to make sure that you're going to get them from point A to point B. And a lot of times people want to see results or your track record. So there was the process of me, gathering, whether it was testimonials from other clients, them seeing other clients, and then, being able to, again, just different techniques that I learned to make people want to be a part of, Powerhouse and, embark on that experience or in that journey, because, a lot of times I had other people that would train. I've had other friends that would train clients and would be too afraid to ask them for money. That was like when I first started out, was asking for money I was kind of hesitant, because I didn't know, well, I'm young. I don't want people to know how old I really am.
Limiting beliefs.
Exactly, So I was afraid to ask for what I knew I was worth.
Yeah.
So.
And then in regards to your brand, and that's a great point that you brought up, what would you say were the things that you focused on then and now to say, hey, Powerhouse is different because XYZ? A lot of it was the ambiance when you come inside, because a lot of trainers are knowledgeable. A lot of trainers can get you from point A to point B, but it was definitely that comfortability factor and that non-judgment zone. Because a lot of times when you go into gyms, you see buff dudes and just dogging you, talking shit. I'm like, dude, I don't know, they're fucking staring you down, beating their chest and shit. I was like, when you come in here, it's a super comfortable environment. Even now to this day, when anybody walks through my doors, they're greeted. Hello, hey, how's it going? To automatically break down that first barrier. So you have to be greeted with a smile. Kind of, if you need a demo, or excuse me, not a demo, a walkthrough of the gym to kind of see where everything's at. Before we get into the prezo, or before we're gonna talk about any type of sales, we go over first. It's the greeting, and then what are your goals? So get to right down to the root of things before we even talk about any other type of payment or whatever the case may be. And another big one that we kind of still follow through today is, before I used to give a free session. And I wouldn't ask for payment right from the get-go, because I felt that would help with the comfortability and people could see what they're getting. And even now to this day, we do offer a free week, and then we offer an intro offer. But I never sell people on the intro offer first. I always give them the option for the free week, because I never want to look like a liar or I forgot to tell somebody something. Exactly. Smart, man. Dope. So you knew you had to get a team, which is important, and you saw the importance of scaling and having people to delegate with, because it's too tough to do it on your own. Was that a tough lesson for you to learn, or did you get that right away? Because that, I think, is the biggest thing, bro, because, and you can talk about this, my issue when doing that was, I only trust myself. I know 100%. If I do this shit, it's going to be done correctly.
Yeah, you wish there was 5 views.
And I'm going to watch everyone like a hawk. But you have to be able to let go and be okay if they do make a mistake and you fixing it. How was that process for you, bro? Because that was the most difficult for me, for sure.
Even to this day, dude, because I remember coming to your seminar about a week ago, and it's something that I still struggle with to this day, and not nearly as much as I did back then. But delegating back then was a little bit more difficult until I felt that Brandon and Corey were up to speed. And then, I trusted them wholeheartedly because they are good individuals, and kind of how our business model runs. And they can attest to this as well, is that I lead, and then along the way while I lead, they kind of course correct. Hey, this is a good idea, this is a good idea. So while we're running in that direction, I can delegate stuff, slowly delegating things here and there, and felt that I was building that trust with them to follow through. But that was just with them. Now it's a different story when we have, Mark, Arturo, Alondra, Marissa, everybody else that works with me now or works with us now. It's, taking some time and kind of you got to just throw it out there and kind of see what happens, but definitely give them some guidelines to follow through. But it was definitely something that was difficult for me, and it still is difficult for me, because I don't want anything to fail or go wrong.
Yeah, I know, and that's a tough kind of like a plank to walk, you know what I mean? It's almost like you're walking that little tightrope in between the Grand Canyon, and one little slip can
100%, dude.
And then obviously the more locations that you open, the more that's at risk as you scale and you make more money. And that's what I tell people, because they'll be like, if I had 2 gyms, I'm cool, I'm coasting. But there's a tremendous amount of responsibility that comes with that, and the people, employees.
Yeah, 100%. It's almost that you want to at least with my team, I don't put a ceiling on anything because I feel right now I have like the founding fathers of what's going to allow for expansion. And I make sure that it's very evident that they see the growth and the opportunity within the company. Because as soon as people don't see growth or they see a ceiling, they want out. So I have to make sure that I'm constantly on my A game, creating more so I can then create more opportunity for my team within, and it's going to allow me to be more successful because the positions that I have right now are, I guess, yes, they're disposable in the sense that like I could find somebody else, but I've already entrusted and built relationships with these people that I value them a lot, and I feel that's crucial, for the success of the coming years of the business.
Absolutely. A question I'd like to ask, and I'm sure people would want to know, is there like a certain amount that you allocate from the profits of the company to reinvest back into the business?
To reinvest back into the business right now, we've been recycling. I want to say, trying to run the numbers in my head right now
because I have a certain
it's at least more than 30% because of that 100%, I have stuff go to payroll, overhead expenses. I'll leave those as 2 categories, and then everything else, 30-40% gets recycled back into the gym. I only take a small portion, myself, Brandon, and Corey, because we're on insurance, and due to insurance reasonings, I have to take X amount of dollars per month to put myself on payroll. But right now, we're just recycling everything back because we also do personal training. Because the way my business model is set up is we have our clientele that's set up on the Fit Camp memberships, which is kind of like a boot camp style that we run, and then in addition to that, we also all do personal training. So I don't really ever have to dip from the boot camps because we have a residual that comes from the Fit Camp that pays for my payroll, my overhead expenses, and still puts money back into the gym. And I handle the financials, so I was able to maneuver it in the way that I was able to purchase my second gym in Duarte, and that's going to set us up for the third location that we're hoping to do in La Habra.
Dope, yeah. Talk a little bit about that location and then what you see like the next year or two looking like as far as how you're navigating this thing now.
In terms of which location?
The newest one. Because Duarte you opened up not too long ago.
Yeah.
And then you're going now for La Habra. That's the next project.
Yeah, that's the next project that we're working on. Just finishing up some final touches up in Duarte and just continue to scale from there. It's a smaller location. It's a little shy of 3,000 square feet. So I guess you can say it's considered a little bit of boutique. So we'll hit our cap this year over there. And then, kind of after that, just branching into the La Habra, Brea, Fullerton area. Because I was always seen myself moving down the 57. Just kind of popping up the locations along the 57, moving into that direction. And right now we're just kind of making sure that the budget stays tight. How we operated the move from industry to Duarte was we ran a little bit overstaffed. So the goal for this next year of 2020 is right now we're in the search of a couple more interns because I usually put everybody through a 3-month internship before they're offered any type of position or even paid. So I want to make sure that you're able to follow through with the workload and that you're committed. So I try and weed out everybody that says, oh yeah, I'm about it, because it's like I said, trainers are a dime a dozen. So I want to see people that have that mentality and they can hang with it. Because I know that when the money's coming out of our pocket to pay you, it's money well spent.
Of course.
So right now we're in the process of looking for some interns, run overstaffed between industry and Duarte. So that way when we do find the location in La Habra, we're kind of ready to rock and roll. I'm going to give the gyms a little revamp, make sure everything's color matched, kind of that way I can stamp it from industry to Duarte to La Habra and make sure everything is systemized. Because I feel that's the biggest obstacle is making sure that it's just plug and play.
Of course, yeah. And I think this would be a good time, dude, because obviously we're probably going to do a second episode. Right now, plug all your social media stuff, the locations if you want. Also now, for anybody listening who may be a potential intern, if they're interested, how to go about contacting you for that opportunity.
Yeah, so definitely. My personal Instagram is Aaron_PowerhouseFit. You can also follow my podcast, which is IAMM. The podcast is the I Am podcast. Our Powerhouse Instagram is Powerhouse_fit, and then PowerhouseFit_Duarte. And we also have the Fresh and Fuego. Those are all the Instagrams and all the platforms that you can search on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and then the podcast is on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube as well. So if you guys are interested in any of those categories, be sure to hit me up and I'll take care of you guys.
Go, bro. So thanks for being
Appreciate
on the show.
it. Yes, thank you, man.
Thanks for coming back. We'll definitely do a second one. But yeah, Team BC Sold sponsors this podcast, Supreme Being. Make sure you check us out. Shoot us a message if you need anything. If you guys want to work with me and be a part of the team, go to Partner with Team BC. And lastly, if you want to go to my events and be closer to me and get access to guys like Aaron, make sure you guys join Modern Success and you'll be a part of the crew. All right, we'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace.